All right, what's up, everyone? Today, we are going to settle a big debate. We're diving headfirst into the world of elite Olympic-level athletics to figure out which sport, hands down, builds the most powerful and impressive chest. And trust me, this is a fun one. We're talking biomechanics, we're talking raw strength, and some pretty surprising science.
So, let's get right into it. Have you ever been watching the Olympics and just been blown away by the physiques on display? Well, today, we're asking a super specific question. Which of these sports actually forges the most powerful chest? Now, your first guess might be, weightlifting, right? And hey, that's a solid guess. But I am telling you, once we break it down with the actual science of how muscle grows, the answer is, well, it's not what you think. You're going to want to stick around for this.
But hang on, before we start the countdown, we need to set the rules. We need our judging criteria. So, let's do a quick and dirty breakdown of how muscles actually get bigger. It's not magic, it's a science called hypertrophy, and it really boils down to three main things.
Okay, first up, and this is the big one, we've got mechanical tension. This is literally the force your muscle feels when it's being stretched with a heavy weight. You know that feeling at the bottom of a heavy dumbbell press where your pecs feel like they're stretching? That's mechanical tension, and it is the #1 signal for your body to grow. Next, metabolic stress. This is that famous burn, the pump. It's what happens when you do a bunch of reps and your muscles get flooded with byproducts like lactate. That swelling in the cell also screams at your body to grow. And finally, muscle damage. This is why you get sore. A tough workout creates tiny micro tears in your muscle fibers. And what does your body do? It doesn't just patch them up, it rebuilds them bigger and stronger than before. The sports we're about to rank are absolute masters of at least one, if not all three of these things.
All right, science lesson is over. We have our criteria. It is time for the main event. Let's count them down from 5 to 1 and find out who takes the crown for chest development. Let's go.
Kicking off our list at number 5, we are heading to the tatami mat for an ancient and incredibly tough martial art, judo.
Yeah, judo probably wasn't your first guess, right? But it's a hidden gem for building a seriously powerful chest. See, it's all about this constant violent push and pull game. To throw someone, a judoka has to first break their opponent's balance. That's called kuzushi. And that move is an incredibly explosive push using the chest and arms. But then, in the same breath, they have to explosively pull that resisting opponent in tight to actually execute the throw. So just imagine that, pushing, pulling, and stabilizing a 200-pound person who's fighting back with everything they have. That creates an insane amount of tension through the pecs, and it's why these athletes are so functionally strong.
For our number 4 spot, we're getting out of the dojo and diving straight into the pool. But we're not talking about a casual swim. We're talking about the sheer power of short-distance swimming.
Now, let's be clear, we mean elite sprinters here, especially those doing breaststroke and butterfly. The secret is in this one specific motion, the in-sweep. That's that massive scooping and squeezing motion where they bring their arms together under their body to just surge through the water. And here's the kicker. Water is almost 800 times denser than air. That means every single pull is a high-resistance rep. There's no rest. There's no easy part of the movement. It is just constant work. And that is the perfect recipe for creating absolutely massive metabolic stress, that burn we talked about earlier. The pecs are on fire the whole time, building that iconic, wide, powerful swimmer's physique.
All right, cracking the top 3 now. We're heading back to the mats for one of the most grueling sports in the world. Coming in at number 3, it's wrestling.
If you've ever seen a high-level wrestler, they have this different kind of muscle. It's dense. It looks like it's chiseled out of granite. And the secret to their chest development isn't about reps at all, it's about pure, unrelenting pressure. Specifically, we're talking about the clinch. This is that up-close battle for control, locking arms around an opponent. And the source material had a perfect way of describing this. It's like hugging a heavy sandbag with all your might, except that sandbag is fighting back and trying to slam you into the ground. It's a non-stop, high-tension isometric squeeze that puts the pecs under a ridiculous load for minutes at a time. This forges a chest that is just unbelievably dense and strong.
Okay, our runner-up, our silver medalist for the ultimate chest-building sport, is an event that is all about one thing: raw, explosive power. Taking the number 2 spot, it's the shot put.
Shot putters are, without a doubt, some of the strongest athletes on Earth, and their chests are built with a 1-2 punch. First, you've got the sport itself, that final, violent explosion to launch a 16-pound metal ball as far as humanly possible. That's a huge display of chest power. But the real reason they're so high on this list is what they do in the gym.
For a shot putter, a bigger bench press directly equals a longer throw. So what do? They train it like maniacs. We're talking about guys who bench press over 230 kilos. That's over 500 pounds. Some even push 250 kilos. This is the absolute peak of that #1 principle we talked about, mechanical tension. It builds a massive, thick, powerful chest designed to do one thing, move incredible weight.
So we've had the push-pull of judo, the constant burn of swimming, the crushing squeeze of wrestling, and the pure heavy load of the shot put. I mean, each one is incredible in its own way. But there's one sport that rises above them all. It combines strength, stability, and tension in a way that is just on another level. The undisputed #1 is
Gymnastics. And to be even more specific, the athletes who have mastered the still rings.
I know. This is probably the surprise I promised you. You're thinking, wait a minute, how can they be stronger than a shot putter? But the science here is just undeniable. These ring specialists are playing a totally different game. The source material put it perfectly. They have a physique that rivals a bodybuilder's with the strength to control multiples of their own body weight. It's the ultimate blend of looks and performance. But how? How do they do it? The answer is all about physics.
And this right here explains everything. It all comes down to leverage. See, a weightlifter or a shot putter is trying to create the best leverage possible to move the most weight. You tuck your elbows on a bench press to make the lift easier, right? A gymnast does the exact opposite. They deliberately put their body in the worst, most unfavorable positions imaginable. They aren't trying to lift a weight, they're creating unbelievable internal tension just to fight gravity in the hardest way possible.
Let's just talk about the iron cross for a second. This is the ultimate proof. When their arms are straight out to the sides, the lever, that distance from their shoulder to their hand, is as long as it can possibly be. To stop gravity from just ripping their arms down, their pecs have to generate a constant pulling force that's estimated to be up to 10 times their own body weight. Let that sink in. Not lifting 10 times their body weight, generating 10 times the force, just to hold still. That crazy extreme tension hits every single muscle fiber and maxes out all 3 of our muscle-building drivers at once. It creates a chest that is big, unbelievably dense, and stronger than anything else out there.
Okay, so what in the world does this all mean for you and me in the gym? Well, that's the best part. We don't have to be able to do an iron cross to learn from these guys. We can steal the core principles from these Olympic athletes and plug them right into our own workouts to get way better results.
And what's so cool about this data is that it shows there's more than one way to get strong. Yeah, the shot putters have the highest bench press ratio, building that raw, explosive mass. But look at the gymnasts. They're right there with them, building a different kind of strength, that high-density isometric power. And wrestlers are building that functional, grinding strength. The big takeaway here is that you shouldn't just train your chest in one way. A truly well-developed chest comes from borrowing a little bit from all of these disciplines.
So here it is, your 3 big takeaways from the Olympians. #1 from the gymnasts, start adding isometric holds. At the end of your set of dips or push-ups, just pause at the bottom and hold it for 10 or 20 seconds. Feel that insane tension. That's where the magic happens. #2 from the shot putters, lift heavy on your big compound lifts. Focus on getting stronger over time on things like your bench press or incline press. That's your mechanical tension. And #3 from the wrestlers, focus on the squeeze. When you're doing a cable fly, don't just move the weight. At the point of peak contraction, actively try to crush your pecs together as hard as you can, like you're trying to win a clinch.
So, I have to ask you, after seeing all this, which one of these Olympic principles are you going to try out in your next chest day? Are you going to add some of those gymnast-style holds? Are you going to go for a new personal record like a shot putter? Or are you going to really focus on that wrestler squeeze?
Let me know down in the comments which principle you're going to use. If you had a good time with this breakdown and learned something new, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of getting strong. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.